So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Navamsa video this week. And this week we're going to be covering our video of Mercury in the third house of the Navamsa chart. And what happens when Mercury is in the third house in your D9 chart, which is one of the most important charts in Vedic astrology. It kind of shows the strength of your planet. It shows the path of your soul. It shows kind of like your ultimate destiny, because D1 is what's happening. D9 is the result of what is happening, because like they say, there's a reaction to every action. So D9 is the reaction. And as always, if you do not know, if you have Mercury in the third house of your D9, what your planetary placements are in the Navamsa chart, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. So here I am with Jupiter entering in Scorpio and talking about Mercury, which obviously rules the last nakshatra of the constellation zodiac in Pisces, which is Revati. I have a fish aquarium, which I just got. And I actually started with a small fish aquarium, and then my daughters are like, oh my God, let's get a big one. Let's get a big one. So I'm like, all right, fine, we'll get a big one. So we got this monstrosity here in my background. But anyway, let's get started with the Mercury nakshatra, or I'm sorry, Mercury in the third house of Navamsa. So whenever Mercury is in the in the third house for the Navamsa chart, one thing you got to realize is that your entire foundation of marriage will definitely have a great support of communication style. The communication within the marriage is obviously one of the most important aspects of a successful marriage, because only when there's no communication, things will and do fall apart. So here Mercury, which is controlling the third house, which represents not only just the house of communication, but it's the communication of the marriage, communication within your partnership. So Mercury is curious. You got to understand one thing about Mercury. It's a curious planet. It's never really feeling debilitated or exalted. It's just curious. So when it's in the third house, there will be this curiosity in your life, not only in general sense, but also especially when it comes to marriage. You want to know what your spouse is doing. You want to know how their day was like from work. You want to know what their problems are. You want to solve those problems, but Mercury is like a multiplicity. It's exchange. It's twins. So that means what you give, you get. What you get is what you give. So that means if you are curious about wanting to know about your spouse's day, how their day was like, how their interaction with the boss was, how their meeting went, you want them to do the same thing. You want them to ask you questions. You want to talk. So in a way, it's great. It's excellent if the other person has the type of Mercury in their chart where both of you are exchanging. But this can become heavy because you could be just simply giving. You are wanting to know, but the other person's just not caring to, talk to you about what your problems are. And that's where issues can come up, obviously. So just because you have Mercury in the third house doesn't mean it's like your whole chart is blessed or your marriage is blessed. Is that it shows the indication that this person wants to resolve issues. This person wants to talk about what, is happening and what needs to happen. And the other thing that we also see is that such people, especially if you have siblings, will take advice of siblings. They will always call their siblings, always call their cousins, their aunts and uncles in wanting to know, how do I resolve this issue in my marriage? And obviously, depending upon how your birth chart is, in the Navamsa, when you have Mercury here, one becomes far more communicative than they have been previously in their life. They want to sell, they want to market, they want to announce things. They're curious about interaction with people, so those people, like your cousin, every time you guys met, they were just like in the corner reading a book and not wanting to communicate, not wanting to interact, only a little bit. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, here comes that boring cousin. And now after like 15-20 years, you see that same person and they are just like the center of attention. They are wanting to talk to everybody. They're coming up to you and saying, how are you? What's going on with your life? Tell me what's going on. What did we miss in the past 15 years? I feel so bad we missed each other. You know, we never got to talk. Suddenly, why is it happening? Of course, it could be a dasha, you know, like a planetary time period coming in a person's life. But especially, you know, once they reach that age of 36, or let's say if they're married even, Navamsa kind of comes alive, even with marriage. But if they're really in their second half of life, and if they have Mercury in a very well position in the third house, this person is going to be, you know, going according to their Mercury in the Navamsa. However, one thing this person will feel drunk about, confused about, is religion, spirituality, dharma, who they are, and also their communication with the father may suffer. That's one thing we see here. And the other thing we also see is that this person loves traveling. They especially do very well with communication in foreign places, dealing with foreign people, foreigners, okay, and traveling. That's where their skills comes out. Because remember, third house is skills. Because Mercury is there, it's not only just the skills of communication, it's the skills of interpretation, skills of language, and creative skills of hands. So this person becomes very good in either writing, very good in painting, arts, mimicking. Like, this is a person that kind of becomes a natural comedian in the second half of their life. But the main thing that we want to get out with this placement is that you need a marriage where you can ask for problems, but at the same time, you are looking for someone who will ask the questions with you at the same time. Now, there are certain people where they don't really care to talk. They're like, look, we know what marriage is. I'm going to pay the bills. You take care of the children. Something happens, I'll take care of it. We don't need to really communicate all the time. There are people like that. There are marriages like that. You are one of those people who you do not want one of those marriages. It's that simple. For someone else, it works out. For you, it doesn't work out. So that's, you know, you have to keep in mind, like, nobody, just because you like chocolate ice cream doesn't mean everybody else will like chocolate ice cream. Everybody else may like, you know, raspberry, vanilla, you know, sherbet, but you only like chocolate. You know, that's what life is. It's colorful. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mercury in the third house for Navamsa chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Mercury is placed, all your astrological details, my books, reports, consultation, and link to my new school to teach you Vedic Astrology with some secrets, check out the links here, or go to Magha Vedic Astrology Academy. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye.